Good morning, everyone. My name is Beth Dennis, and this is Some Great News, Canadian edition.
Let's go, girls.
Inspired by John Krasinski's new show, Some Good News, I felt like Canadians deserve some more recognition in life. When a Canadian makes it big in the acting or singing world, Canadians are often cheering them on and so proud they made it because they're from Canada. Do Americans say, wow, Leonardo DiCaprio is so great, and he's American, I'm so proud of a fellow American? Nope, probably not. Because there are so many well-recognized Americans. I have absolutely nothing against Americans or America, but we live directly above you, and we're not some foreign country. We share a continent. Canadians are pretty alright too. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Some Good News, John Krasinski created the show because he felt like there was lots of depressing and negative news going around in the world at the moment. Although that is the reality, he felt like we needed a bright light and focus on some positives that are happening right now. In my show, I'll be focusing on some Canadians who have been doing random acts of kindness and some inspiring Canadians who should be recognized. I'll also be interviewing some Canadians to talk about how this COVID-19 pandemic is affecting them and their different careers and lifestyles. I'll be giving some fun facts about some influential Canadians and teaching you all about the history of Canada and what this amazing place has to offer. To start off, the Canadian actor that we're going to be featuring on this week's episode is the cast of Schitt's Creek. Yes, I recognize this is not just one actor, but there are too many on one show to just name one. To name a few, Dan Levy, Annie Murphy, Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, Emily Hampshire, Sarah Levy, and many more. Schitt's Creek was filmed only a few minutes from here in Orangeville, Ontario, Canada. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the show, it's about a very wealthy family who loses all their money and moves to a town that the father had previously bought for his son as a birthday present, called Schitt's Creek, as a joke. They end up having to move to this town, and it's about how they grow together as a family.
You want me to get murdered first? In front of you? And then what would you do? Would you just run away and leave me to bleed out on the floor?
Sort of. That was the plan. Yeah.
It is a comedy, we laugh, we cry, and it's such a special show. I highly recommend going to Netflix now and watching it. Now, I would like to introduce to you Michael Bublé, who is from Vancouver, British Columbia. He has won 4 Grammys and many Juno Awards throughout his career so far. He is well known for his Christmas albums and has been featured on James Corden's Carpool Karaoke, Dancing with the Stars, and more. Let's have a look.
I'm not surprised, not everything lasts. I've broken my heart so many times I stopped keeping track. I talk myself in, I talk myself out. I get all worked up, then I let myself down. I tried so very hard not to lose it. I came up with a million excuses. I thought of every possibility. And someday I know it'll all turn out. You'll make me work so we can work to work it out. And I promise you, kid, I'll get so much more than I get. Yeah, I just haven't met you yet.
Here is Mark McMorris, who is the most decorated Winter X Games athlete. He has overcome a substantial amount of challenges throughout his career, which include injuries and setbacks, but remain as one of the best snowboarders in the world. The 26-year-old from Regina, Saskatchewan, has 2 Olympic bronze medals and 19 X Games medals. He was also the first person to ever land a backside triple cork 1440 on a snowboard. Let's have a look. The Canadian small business that I'm going to be focusing on today is called the Good Hood Club. 2 women from Ontario created this company to support POGO, which is the Pediatric Oncology Group of Ontario. They recently made a pact on their social media pages that for every repost one of their photos got over the span of 24 hours, they were going to donate 50 cents to POGO. They wanted to raise awareness for those who have to continue to make trips back and forth to the hospital for treatments and appointments throughout this pandemic. They received over 36,000 reposts over 24 hours and donated over $18,000 to Pogo. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. How are Canadians keeping busy throughout this pandemic, you may ask, but probably not. I'm going to tell you anyway. Here's a submission we got from Zed, who's from Vancouver, British Columbia, who's keeping busy by improvising sports in his home. Take a look.
You're a falling star, you're the getaway car, you're the line in the sand when I go too far. You're the swimming pool on an August day, and you're the perfect thing to say. And you play it coy, but it's kinda cute.
As for some random acts of kindness for this week, Marcus and Tyler from Toronto, Ontario posted a letter in their condo building offering to do shopping for anyone who is over 60 years old, who has a weakened immune system, or is currently self-isolating or quarantining due to illness or potential symptoms. Thanks, Tyler and Marcus. You guys rock. Keep it up.
Yep.
Now, let's hear from a very special friend of mine. A high school teacher who is involved in her community and volunteer groups in her school. I know she brightens my day and does so for so many others as well. She is one of a kind and makes this world such a better place. Okay, thank you so much for coming. I have some questions for you. How has your job and lifestyle been affected, and are you doing virtual classes or like just posting your assignments and stuff?
Yeah, so that is the biggest learning curve. I love a challenge. I'll be honest, I'm always looking for a new challenge at work. This is a lot all at once.
Yep.
So I'm even overwhelmed. I have tried to create some structure in my plans. We post like weekly plans for our students. I just got on to virtual Google Meets this week to actually see their faces, and I think that makes a big difference. I spend hours and hours and hours on email and messages on Google Classroom, just clarifying things and just like trying to keep the kids motivated. I do a weekly check-in, asking them how they are, the things that are going on in their life, just so that I have a little bit of context because I can't see their emotions. But it's hard. It's really, really hard.
Okay, this is my final questions. What can you say to students and teachers who may be struggling right now? And can you give us some Lisa advice or motivation to help us get through today?
So as far as students and teachers that may be struggling, I find it really helpful, like I said, to have like these face-to-face conversations. So trying to get on to something that you're not good at. Like I don't do a lot of social media videos, stuff like that. So Google Meets was new to me. And I allow myself to make mistakes.
Yeah.
The students are going to make mistakes. I keep, handing stuff back to them, asking them to revise things, to hand it back to me, just to make it kind of a slow learning process. Slow down and just like allow yourself to make mistakes. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest piece of advice that I would give to anybody.
Yeah, that's huge. Thank you so much. As this episode comes to a close, I would like to share with you an anthem that was popular during my time and, in my opinion, really sums up Canada in a beautiful, emotional way. Let's take a look. Sorry.
Thank you very much. Now we're very patriotic Canadians, and so we'd like to take this moment to do our national anthem that we wrote. When I look around me, I can't believe what I see. It seems as if this country has lost its will to live. The economy is lousy, we barely have an army, but we can still stand proudly, cause Canada's really big. We're the second largest country on this planet Earth. And if Russia keeps on shrinking, then soon we'll be first.
As long as we keep Quebec.
The USA has tanks, and Switzerland has banks. They can keep them thanks, they just don't amount. Cause when you get down to it, you find out what the truth is. It isn't what you do with it, it's the size that counts. Those people will tell you that France is pretty large, but you can put 14 Frances into this land of ours.
They take a lot of work. They take a whole lot of work. We're larger than Malaysia, almost as big as Asia. We're bigger than Australia, and it's a continent so big we seldom bother to go see one another, though we often go to other countries for vacations. Our mountains are very pointy, our prairies are not. The rest is kind of bumpy, but man, do we have a lot. We got a lot of land, we got a whole lot of land, so stand up and be proud, and sing out very loud. We stand out from the crowd, cause Canada's really big.
Now, for the fun fact of the week, 77% of the world's maple syrup comes from Quebec, Canada. Wow, how neat is that? To conclude, please follow me on Instagram at Beth Dennis for more updates on the latest episodes, and I'll be looking for submissions of different sorts, so please stay tuned for those. Please send me any art, any makeshift activities you're doing, small businesses that I should be featuring, random acts of kindness, and fun facts. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Some Great News Canadian Edition.